The Jamaica Labour Party stands proud on its record of improving, building out new markets since 2016.
It is no secret that when developers sometimes get approval for one thing, they end up building another. But what this speaks to is the shortcomings of the municipal corporation and specifically the technical department.
I invite Natalie Campbell from IRFM to pose the first question of the evening, and that question shall be directed to Team JLP.
Good evening. Markets, cemeteries, and public order issues in town centers are the responsibility of municipal corporations. Please identify one cemetery, a market, and one town center in a corporation controlled by your party that you are proud of, approve of, and say why.
Well, I can focus, thanks for the question, I can focus our attention to Hanover, Hopewell in Hanover, brand new market that has been built, clean town, congested however, but it's a part of the overall development. The work is ongoing. I can take you to the town of Montego Bay. I can take you to the town of Otrius. There are several town centers across the country, which speaks volume to the work of the local authorities in terms of maintaining cleanliness within these town centers.
I'd also like to bring your attention to the Jubilee Market, which was recently completed in terms of its renovation. It was destroyed by fire about some 10, 12 years ago, was never restored. We took the opportunity and committed ourselves to restoring it. The Jubilee Market is so well done now that most persons in and around the downtown area say that it should not remain the Jubilee Market, but we should call it the Jubilee Plaza because of how exquisite it is. And I invite everyone to take a look at it. It's really a very lovely space for a market space, for haberdashery market.
The Jamaica Labour Party believes that markets are vital to the economic livelihood of each municipality. And this is how, by building out all the markets in Jamaica, we are building you and your community.
Thank you. You wanted to ask a follow-up?
They were to identify a cemetery as well.
Well, public cemeteries, we can speak to the new public cemetery in Old Harbour that was established under this administration that provides burial, first-class burial. We can also make reference to the one in Mandeville also. We will agree with you that public cemeteries right across the country is in need of attention. And the government has announced a program, a comprehensive program to deal with the cleaning of public cemeteries across the country. The entire island will benefit from that program, which was announced by me in my sectorial presentation last year.
Thank you. May I invite Team PNP to rebut?
Our markets are in a deplorable condition. I would just say that, if you want to characterize it, they are dirty, they are stink. I'm a user of the market. I use the market at least 3 times per month. I go to Coronation Market, Minister, and it's in your constituency, and they are dirty. There's no bathroom facilities there. There's no portable waters there. And this is, while the mayor can speak to a Jubilee Market, that was actually started by the People's National Party administration during the 2012 to 2016 period. And it's left a lot to be desired.
You're joking.
I'll just hand over now to Sian, who will speak to the cemetery issue.
The cemetery is out of space. I know that you are in trouble when trying to find a space for your loved one to be buried. The JLP administration has not even provided any other cemetery in any of the parishes. Clarendon is out of space. Sainton is out of space. St. Mary is out of space. The trouble that you are now finding yourself with is where to rest your loved one. The People's National Party will work closely with the UDC, with NHT, with the Sugar Investment Unit to make sure that we have space to put our loved one to rest. The people are now being asked that if their property tax are not up to date.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I invite Arthur to pose his first question of the evening. That question goes to Team PNP.
Good evening. More than 20 years ago, a PNP cabinet member, Arnold Bertram, proposed that we collapse the 13 municipalities into 5 regional municipalities, which would save on administrative costs and would be better able to manage the local government affairs. The PNP administration, which Mr. Bertram served a part as, dropped that idea. The JLP administration has not picked it up. Would you say that that's an idea you'd consider?
We will continue with the present system, and we're even looking at having the municipal corporation being expanded as it relates to the Portman municipal system. We're looking at that. So the PNP think that having the municipal corporations as is good in terms of how it interact, how it serve the people of Jamaica. And so we have not been looking back at having the system collapse in terms of regionalizing the municipal corporations across Jamaica.
But at the same time, we believe that we should merge some of the share some of the resources. For example, the recent thing about the legal services, you can regionalize those legal services, issues like those. But for the actual day-to-day activities, no, we're not looking at that.
All right, thank you. Ramon Gordon is on social media duty. Ramon, what do you have for us?
Now, this question is from Zoe in St. Andrew. They ask, when can we expect the construction of a dam by the parish council to ensure adequate water supply to the corporate area during the summers? Also, what specific plans are in place to address issues like inadequate garbage collection, unreliable public transportation, and sewage problems in urban areas?
Team JLP, I invite you to make the first response.
Okay, the question of water. There is a major water project being undertaken by the National Water Commission that will be bringing water into the corporate area. We all know that the water supply systems into the corporate area is undervalued. And so the government has started a comprehensive program to bring water into the city. That have started already with a massive improvement to the system coming in from St. Catherine into the corporate area. And this system will be expanded right across Kingston and St. Andrew. The other issue of sewage, and I want to make the point, is that the sewage system in the corporate area is very old. And over the years, we have had developments and no improvement has taken place as it relates to our sewage system. What this administration is doing, where there are new developments, new roads being put down, we are putting in proper sewage system to meet the needs of a growing corporate area, and that will take some time.
You have aged sewage lines. They are mainly made out of clay material. Those you have to replace with PVC, which the NWC has started. They have started some work in the downtown area, but the government is investing heavily into replacing those age lines. Also, with respect to the water situation, the government has announced that there is a major project to be undertaken that will bring water to the entire Kingston metropolitan area. So in a few years, the water issues in the Kingston metropolitan area will be resolved.
And the question about garbage collection, let me say that the National Solid Waste Management Authority...
I have to call time. The time is up. Time is up. TMQMP, your response?
On the issue of garbage collection, your experience is that your garbage is taking more than 2 weeks to be collected, even though the minister and the JLP will brag about having few trucks, 50 trucks. This obviously causes in some cases rat infestation, maggots in your rubbish at home. We believe that the National Solid Management Authority should return to its core function of being a regulatory body. We also believe that the operation should return to the local authority. I'll ask my colleague to speak to other issues raised.
I see where this administration, that's the Jamaica Labour Party administration, going around building what is called water shop, where people are still walking with water on their head from the source to home. With the People's National Party administration, we will improve the minor water supply system using technology in terms of solar energy to power these pumps and the chlorination system, and even pipe the water from the minor water supply system to the residents' home. We have done it before in Clarendon and Smithville. We have done it before in Pleasant Valley, and we intend to continue that process. As it relates to transportation, we have started by forging partnership with the Ministry of Transportation in providing what is called safe school bus for the students of Clarendon. The students in South Clarendon would have benefited from the use of the JUTC buses. Not only do they attend or reach school safely, but the cost for them to reach school allows them to be at school every day. And this comes from partnership and consultation with the teachers, principal, the students, and the parents for us to implement such things so that our students can be safe as they travel to school. So the People's National Party believe in safety. The People's National Party believe in comfort. The People's National Party believe that time comes for people to have a good and quality life.
We invite Natalie Campbell to start this segment with a question for Team PNP.
Good evening again. Would you consider increasing market fees to raise funds for the upkeep of markets, a number of which, as you said earlier, are in a bad state?
Increasing fees for market vendors is not something the People's National Party is considering, because the present market houses are not fully equipped to create that level of harmony, peace, safety in doing business. The markets first need to be rehabilitated to deal with in terms of how people do business inside there. And the People's National Party believe in having the markets so structured that it makes it easy for vendors and shoppers to use same. The People's National Party has been looking at markets across the length and breadth of Jamaica with a view of upgrading, not similarly to what do exist, but make it the one which people can come, where vendors, especially the women who are the most users within the market, can do so in terms of the public sanitary convenience with dignity. So we have to be looking at these markets to make sure that we provide adequate sanitary convenience. So increasing market fees at this time, we have to do more for the people who uses the market, and particularly the vendors. We need to look at how they keep their goods there at the market. Many often, when you have a fire, these vendors would have been affected. So the People's National Party will be looking at how do we protect the users of the market in the case of a fire. We need to also look at, do we have the proper requisite at the market house? For example, a fire extinguisher. Do we have areas where the vendors who leave from rural Jamaica to the markets to sell and to overnight to the next day, how do we accommodate them at the market? Do we have cold storage at the market for perishable items? So we need to put in some infrastructure before we can think about increase the market fee, which is woefully inadequate at this time. So the PNP is looking at the market holistically as it relates to what needs to be done to make it modern, to make it a modern market for the people who utilize it, in particularly our women who are the most users of our markets.
Thank you, Team PNP. I invite the JLP to rebut.
The Jamaica Labour Party stands proud on its record of improving, building out new markets since 2016. We have built the Clarkstown market, the Hopewell market. We have done significant work on the Brownstown market. We are spending, as I speak now, in excess of $100 million on the market in Savlamar. The proposed market for Negril has run into roadblock because the PNP-controlled municipal council in Westmoreland have placed a stumbling block in the development of that new market. I just announced recently a program to rebuild the Highgate market using modern technology in terms of the development of the market. The Social Development Commission did a survey asking vendors and the general public what would they like to see in their markets. And the new Highgate market will have features such as what was captured in the survey that was conducted by the SDC. We are going to be spending a significant amount of money to improve the conditions of the sanitary facilities across the markets. That money will be sent to the municipal corporations to undertake massive cleaning and upgrading of the sanitary facilities.
Thank you. Whereas I got a direct answer from the PNP to the question, and then Mr. Barneswell went further, I didn't get a direct answer from you to the question about market fees and raising them.
The question is, and let us be fair, if you want to offer service in the markets, then you must consider looking at the existing rates that they are operating under, because these rates go back as far as 20, 25 years ago. So is it a question that we want the good service? Are we not prepared to pay for those services? These are considerations. And these are issues that the PNP mayors have sat in meetings at the ministry to discuss and have agreed.
Thank you for that.
Fees.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you for the direct answer. I invite Arthur to ask a question of Team JLP.
Good afternoon again. There are increasing louder whispers that the developers submit one plan to the KSSE or to the municipal corporations and build something different. So they will submit a plan for single bedrooms and build 2 and 3 bedrooms. But to compound the matter is the state of developments that are taking place without any approval from the municipal corporations in our waterways, in our environmentally suspect areas. What is your party's plan to deal with these unstructured developments that are taking place across the island?
Well, firstly, I mean, we are not aware of any great number of development taking place like that. There are people who develop without going through the application process. And those persons, there is in law an arrangement to deal with that. There is in law something that is referred to as an as-built application. So whenever we come across those, we carry them through that process where they still have to submit the plans. We review the plans, and if the structural integrity of the plan is fine, then we process it. However, with respect to the other part that you use premise before you ask that, is that the plans that are submitted, there are 2 parts to the development approval process. There is a pre-approval process and there is a post-approval process. What you're referencing now is the post-approval process. We have introduced multiple measures to address that. For example, we have now put in place an inspection regime that allows us to inspect at each construction stage, each stage of construction work. So the developer cannot proceed to the next stage unless an inspection is done and a certificate of compliance is issued. Then we have also introduced multiple officers doing inspections. And we are also coordinating inspections with other agencies. So I would say there are weaknesses in both the pre- and the post-approval process. But those weaknesses we have been addressing, we have been strengthening the development approval process, and I believe we are getting somewhere with that process.
And the new Building Act provides the background for enforcement. So the new Building Act will tie in to the efforts that are being made to strengthen the system that presently exists, which we understand exists.
Thank you. Team PNP, I invite your rebuttal.
It is a real and recurring problem. It is no secret that when developers sometimes get approval for one thing, they end up building another. But what this speaks to is the shortcomings of the municipal corporation and specifically the technical department. What is happening across the municipal corporations is that our technical departments are severely understaffed. And that poses a problem with enforcement issues that the municipal corporations must carry out. And so we propose investing in our human resource at the municipal corporation so that we have enough officers to do the right level of inspection and to do the right level of enforcement.
We also believe in separation of duties. It cannot be the same person who is recommending for the building approval is the same person who is required to do the enforcement. There goes the conflict of interest. We believe that, as my colleague has indicated earlier, that you widen it in terms of building approval. In the case of KCMC, there are only 5 to 8 building officers for the entire Kingston St. Andrew. That is hopefully adequate. And we believe that some of the funds that we have achieved from the new fees should certainly plug back into the department.